Then again, I talk to you about, even in any complementary medicine, they talk about the organ clock theory. So what is the organ clock theory, doctor? They've identified exactly 12 organs. They are involved with the reception, digestion, absorption and excretion of food and water which you take. What you take, only the food and water. What you inhale is oxygen. So these are the three things that are very vital for any human being to live. So out of the food and water, how it is being disintegrated in the body, how it is being metabolized, how it is being taken back, how it is excreted, everything, it depends upon only 12 organs. Out of the 12 organs are, 6 organs are solid organs, 6 organs are tubular organs. The solid organ, they call it name of yin, the tubular organ, they call it name of yang. Thus, yin and yang, I will detail it in my next courses. So, each and every time, total 24 hours is equally divided into 2 hours per organ. That is the time the flow of energy will be on the maximum in the particular organ. Okay. One thing I would like to entertain. Anybody who is a patient with a severe pain, doctors, policemen, kurka, drivers, whomsoever they may be, any normal individual, you get more sleep between 3 to 5. You accept? What happens by 3 to 5? In allopathy, when they taught me about bronchial asthma, the signs and symptoms, number 1, what I should write, you know, early morning attack is common. So what happens in the early morning? In meditation, you call anybody, meditation, they call the particular early 3 o'clock time as a Brahma Muhurtam. So what happens in the 3 o'clock? 3 a.m., what happens in the body? Why it happens all like that? That is the thing you have to think about. But very interestingly, in organ clock theory, this 3 o'clock, the maximum flow of energy enters into the lung meridian. And it leaves the lung meridian by about 5 o'clock. So for the 2 hours, the lung meridian will be hyperactive. So when the lung meridian is hyperactive, I already told you the protection of the life force is only in the lung. So your body produces maximum number of energy. The more energy you get, the more happily you can relax. So you go for nice sleep. Okay. Number 2, in bronchial asthma, already the parenchyma, lung parenchyma will be totally started on because of the repeated attacks. It will be vulnerable. So it is already a tired ass. If you start whipping it, what happens? It will fall down. Likewise, already the parenchyma, lung parenchyma is vulnerable for the repeated attacks because if it is made to work for the fullest thing, what will happen? It will be landing in problem. That is the reason you get early morning attack in asthma. In meditation, it's nothing but the exercise, left respiratory exercises. What is meditation? Nothing but the respiratory exercises. So that is a very good time because that is a time the lung meridian holds a maximum flow of energy in the whole day. So that is number 1. Number 2, then 5 to 7, large intestine meridian automatically it is in the high flow. Why that one? Universally. Now everything will change. You forget this time. Universally, usually 5 to 7, anybody will defecate. For you to defecate, naturally your large intestine should be more potent, more powerful. Then only the defecation will be normal. So that is the time for defecation. So then 7 to 9 is the time for stomach. That is the time your first meal gets into. What is breakfast? You are literally on fasting for the whole night, and in the morning you are breaking the fast. That's why it's called as breakfast. Okay? First food when it goes in, then it has to work. Till that time it will be completely in a sedentary way. So once the first food goes in, automatically it keeps working. So that time the flow should be on the maximum. So God has created 7 to 9 is for that one. Then 9 to 11, that is 5 to 7 is this, 7 to 9 is this, 9 to 11 that is for spleen. Spleen is hard to believe me. It is really funny for me to tell all those things. The reason being is, in my allopathy system, what is the function of spleen? We know only 2 things. One is reticuloendothelial system, Number 2, breakdown of RBC. These are the two things we talk about spleen. Nothing more we know. Do you have any test for spleen? Do you have any pathology or problem or disease you get out of spleen? You know? No. At times when liver is becomes swollen, spleen also will become swollen. They call it splenomegaly. But why it is coming? What is the pathology? Nobody knows it. And if something is both the way, we just chip it out and throw it out without knowing what is what. But believe me, spleen is a one organ that is very important for the transportation and transformation of food particles. So it is not the stomach, it is not the intestine, it is only the spleen meridian that takes care of the transportation and transformation of food and water that you consume daily. So after it goes here, for 2 hours it will be in the stomach, then spleen meridian comes into acting. It's a transportation and transformation. To keep it normal, the flow should be on the high side. Then 11 to 1 is a time for heart. That is the time, heart in our acupuncture physiology, heart houses the brain and mind. Heart houses the mind. How many people will accept this one? But simply I can quote you one example. You say somebody, I love you. How you write? You write I, then you write a heart picture, then you. Is it not? You have to write the brain picture. Why you are putting the heart picture there? If everything is controlled by brain, you have to write the brain picture. And in romantic dialogues, what you say? You give me a heart. Nobody asks for you give me a brain. So knowingly or unknowingly we know we are said that is love is something concerned with the heart. Yeah, it is very true. All love, heart houses the mind. So any mental activity, heart should be very hyperactive. That is the time 11 to 1, anybody works, you will be in school, you will be learning something, you will be doing the very important point, money making, everything. Then 11 to 1, it is a time for small intestine. So from the stomach to reach the small intestine takes 6 hours. That is how we go for the in postmortem. We can say with the food is there for the small intestine, we will say tell them after 6 hours of he takes a meal, he is died. That is how we go over. So on the 6th hour, small intestine. So that is the time for small intestine. In between 3 and 5 and 5 and 7 is a time for urinary bladder and kidney. You can see in the open areas. People in lavatories, they will be very crowded in that area. Evening, anybody and everybody will urinate in between 3 and 7. Absolutely, it will be overcrowded. Any toilets and lavatories, you can go and see, everything will be overcrowded during that time. Then again, 7 to 9 is a time for triple warmer. That is, that is for pericardium. Pericardium is a time that is the sheath of the heart, so again mind. So 7 to 9, you do some homework, you learn, or somebody does some accounting, everything. That's the time. And 9 to 11 is the time for triple warmer. Dear friends, I make it as an appeal. I am not telling you something different. I make it as an appeal. In between 11 and 9 and 11, in your body, you got a 3 warmer meridian will be hyperactive. What is the 3 warmer? 3 warmer, I can tell you. In my routine practice of allopathy, I used to see patients, children, they come with a heavy fever in the body, but their legs will be very chilled, very cold. The mother will be screaming like anything. When you touch the heat, you can feel the heat, but when you touch the leg, totally it will be chill, cold and chill. What happens? The thermoregulator in the body is nothing but the hypothalamus. But if it is so, how could it be selective? If hypothalamus says yes, the body should be in one way. If say no, it should be another way. But it could not be selective. But how could it be selective? This is not answered in any other thing. But in complementary science, we talk about 3 compartments. Diaphragm and above is upper compartment. Diaphragm and umbilicus middle. Below umbilicus, that is lower compartment. So each 3 compartment, the thermoregulator is entirely different between the 3 compartments. So by about 9 and 11, your body will be 3 compartments. It will be coping up, and see to that you are falling under sleep. Please don't skip this time. If you are awake for more than long than 11 o'clock, the gallbladder meridian comes into the thing. Gallbladder meridian is for your decision making. So if you skip 11 o'clock, you will become very fresh. You don't feel sleep at all because the gallbladder comes into activity. Okay, so then nothing will happen. So again, I tell you, kindly go to bed before 9 and 11. It is a healthier way, and you are getting into the nature. You are not going against nature. So your body will be devoid of so many pathogens, unwanted pathology in the body. Likewise, 9, 11, 1 and 3 is for liver. I tell you one thing, friends. In allopathy, we talk about liver, portal hypertension, everything we talk about. But one incident, microfilaria for elephantiasis. The cause is the microfilaria. The microfilaria test should be done only in the midnight. If I want to take a... So liver time is 1 to 3 a.m. So what happens in the 1 to 3 a.m.? Our allopathy liver talks about, we talk about liver function test and about our portal hypertension, everything. But I ask you one simple question. For microfilaria, if you want to take a blood sample, you have to take it only after 12 o'clock midnight. What is the reason? I used to ask my professor, sir, what happens, sir? If you have to take it from out of 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock after that, what happens in the body? If we take it in the morning, what happens? Will it be hiding somewhere? You know, everything is in the blood. How come it could be hiding somewhere? Why particularly about 12 o'clock? Right. 12 o'clock, what happens? Till that time, where the pathogen is? How come it could not come out of the thing? So these are all the questions our allopathy could not give any answer. I don't understand. I am telling you the fact. But here in other complementary system, what do they say? Automatically, the total blood supply in the body, you take it 4.5 to 5 liters normally. So when you go for a deep sleep, these 5 liters need not be circulating in the body. So what the liver does it actually extracts part of it, say 2 liters nearly, 1.5 to 2 liters completely from the blood, and it stores. The liver stores the blood. So automatically when 4.5 liters is there, because of the concentration, this microfilaria will not be visible. You got the point? Because they have already extracted 2 liters from the blood circulation, only you got 2.5 liters going through, so easily the microfilaria is visible. That is the reason we are asking. So these are all the things totally unanswered in my medical knowledge. I can correlate, I can easily come to know about what they are talking about, because of the science is totally, it depends upon the natural entity. And this is how the whole body is divided. For 24 hours, if you keep doing this one systematically, you will not get any disease at all. You are getting along the nature. This has been clearly given in a picture before 10,000 years. But very funny for me, before 2,000 years, Nobel Prize was awarded to 2 scientists who talked about the circadian rhythm. They proved body as a circadian rhythm. This is what Chinese people and other people in all the complementary science they are talking about. Because it has not been documented or not being taken to the proper level, it has been totally ignored or unknown. So they can say it is unknown. Because they talked about the circadian rhythm, yes, I accept. And they are particularly they are quoting the example of sleep pattern and dietary pattern. This is what they were quoting. But I am telling you each and every 2 hours what is happening inside the body. This is already told before 10,000 years. That is the greatness of the complementary medicine. Okay? Right. Bye.